Like when you were constantly at home and having to wash the dishes for the food that you make for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the 10 snacks that I make throughout the day. That was not sustainable, but I can cook for myself and I can cook really well.
It's a very general quote, but just live in the present. Like just focusing day by day and not letting, your inner demons get to you. Because, we're all human and we think a lot about the past, the future, and a lot of the times you don't focus on what's in front of you. So, yeah, just stay present and focus on what you can control right now. You focus on staying healthy and doing what you can towards any goal that you might have. Yeah.
One thing I learned from it is the importance of reaching out yourself to others.
In a heartbreaking way, I learned what people really valued. The pandemic in the beginning showed there was this sort of camaraderie. There were moments where I found myself feeling very disconnected from people that I thought I knew really well. It was because they really had different core beliefs about what was going on.
Yes, in the sense of relationships that was already like friendships that we were just not really close, but we would just like here and there. And like sometimes you hang out with people even if you don't want to. But this time I could be like, oh, I'm so sorry, COVID, like I can't hang out. So I guess I wonder, just going like way back, of like if there were ways that I could have maybe even been more honest with myself and others before the pandemic, and not even having to use the pandemic as an excuse to be honest about where I want to put my time and what relationships I want to invest in.
I wouldn't say there was a full loss, but there was a realization that like, hey, this person is using, almost in a weird way, using the shutdown as an excuse to not put effort into a relationship. What I found was that there were people that just got lazy. And so whether they just said, oh, we can't do anything anyway, so I'm just not going to put in the effort. I think they used COVID as a crutch for that, and that's sad.
I lost a lot of friendships during that time, and sometimes I think like if I just simply reached out to those people and put some effort in on my part to maintain those relationships, I wonder if things would be different now. But I didn't do that, which I sometimes regret. But from that experience, I learned that I need to put some more effort into relationships because it is a two-way street, and I can't expect the other people to be doing everything just to keep in touch with me. That's just not fair.
Besides going to school, I didn't really have time to get to know other people. And with COVID, because I'm not focusing on golf anymore, I was able to talk to more of my friends, and they wanted to communicate with me, but I've just been golfing, and it's just been my life. It's not hard to rekindle a relationship. You just gotta reach out.
If you just reach out to people, if you just try to put in some effort to talk to people, they will talk back to you. Like, people are not that mean. And if they are, then that just means that you're not supposed to be friends with them. Yeah.
I know with the pandemic, a lot of people, they've been depressed and they just shut themselves in. But with me, I think it was the opposite experience. It was pretty positive, or at least I tried to make the most of it. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, you're actually the only positive response to this question so far.
I think on my part, at least, I'm not so self-conscious anymore.
It's just like it doesn't make sense to keep trying to do the old things in a new context. I've just realized that oh, these old ways of being and doing actually don't feel like they make the most sense for who I am and what I'm becoming.
COVID-19 definitely changed me. It definitely made me a more cautious person. It made me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do have like anxiety, just because my career requires me to travel. Hearing people getting COVID left and right. As an athlete, you know, you gotta really treat your body well. You gotta be good to it.
I don't do well with rest and like just the sense of pause. I'm like a go, go, go. If I'm not doing 14 things at once, I'm not doing anything kind of a mentality. So I had to be okay with just sitting and just being. But as a Christian, like it was sort of like that sort of slap in the face that you're like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing anyway, right? Like God intended us to rest.
My senior year, I was at my peak golf. Like I was doing really, really well, and it felt like nothing was gonna stop me. And all of a sudden, COVID hit, and it kind of killed the momentum. There's nothing you can do when your whole season's canceled, you know? So it's devastating.
I like that.
Wow. I really don't know. Wow, that's a good question.
Buy stock in PPE supplies.
Stay in Taiwan. I should have stayed in Taiwan, honestly.
Honestly, I would just say it's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
I know you feel really alone and isolated right now. And I know that you think that you're fine on your own, but you're really not. Like, I just lacked initiative. Like, that's what everything boils down to. Yeah. So I want to tell myself before COVID, just have more initiative. Talk to more people. Like, that's the only thing getting in the way of you and, like, a social life in high school. Yeah.
Trust what you know. Meaning, like, for me as a believer, like, just continue to trust in God because it's gonna get really hard. I would say be intentional.
Just trying to make the best of every situation is a very basic.
A big part of that is like a lot of people are getting used to thinking now that like change itself is normal. Like the fact that things haven't changed is not like the norm.
Exactly.